Going back to learning Hawaiian, so you had this idea that you come and you find people speaking Hawaiian and you pick it up that way.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case. So how do you go about starting to learn?
Yeah, that wasn't the case, in two ways. One, you cannot find anybody, but two, on top of that, coronavirus.
Yeah.
So, we were stuck at home. And then I think it was right around that time where they either released or I found out about Hawaiian in Duolingo. So that was my first attempt at trying to learn. I downloaded the app and I started doing Duolingo, every once in a while. I wanted to get a sense of how similar or dissimilar the languages are.
And then after Duolingo, you find other resources, or how do you continue to learn?
I mean, I was just looking online, I was just looking at whatever I could get my hands on. I have one friend that I made, in Oregon. He's from here. We will get together, every once in a while, and I would try to force him to talk to me in Hawaiian so I could just get more exposed, you know. He let me borrow one of his books that he used when he, I don't even know, when he went to school here, maybe. Nakaye Valu, creo que it's called. Blue, anyway. That book, which honestly I didn't, I didn't really use it that much. I didn't really use it that much. And then I found your Instagram and your website and all the resources that you had on the website.
And did you just use the resources that I had and start to pick it up that way?
Yep.
What were you using mostly? Listening resources, the books maybe?
Listening.
Okay.
Listening, by far, listening.
Yeah.
Listening. I would put it on and I would just have it in the background.
Are you talking about my podcast or the Kaleo Hawaii?
So I started with your podcast.
Okay.
I started with your podcast, and then at some point, maybe you mentioned it or something like that, that there are recordings, of people speaking Hawaiian back in the days, and so then I jumped into those old recordings, Clinton Kanahele and Larry Kimura, and then I jumped into that, and I would just have them in the background. I would be doing whatever I was doing, washing dishes, doing homework, whatever I was doing. I would just have a recording in the back of my head, not necessarily fully paying attention to them all the time, but just trying to recognize words here and there. So I would be washing dishes, and I'll hear whatever. I'd be like, oh, okay, I know that word. Okay, let's see what what is he trying to say about this word, and I feel little by little, I would pick up words here and there, words that sounded familiar that I would hear more often. I would write down and then, find the meaning, the definition. So I'd be like, okay, that helps me, that's one more piece in the puzzle. And so little by little, I started making connections. That plus Duolingo made me realize that the structure of the language is very similar. It's very, very similar for the most part. Obviously there's differences.
You're talking Rapa Nui.
Rapa Nui and Hawaiian.
Yeah,
Rapa Nui and Hawaiian, very similar. So it happens sometimes, in some, what do you call it, time tense?
The tenses,
Tenses.
Yeah.
Some of the tenses, is as easy as swapping the words, you know, and it's the same structure, and so it definitely sped up the process. Sped up the process.
I know at some point you started taking my online course.
Yeah.
Was that helpful at all?
That was actually not even that long ago. I bought it. Well, okay, so I bought it. It must have been
a year ago, maybe.
No, not that long ago. Not that long ago. February.
Okay.
Hawaii. Hawaii month.
Yeah. Okay.
So I bought it then. I had it. I mean, honestly, I wanted to buy it for a long time. I never did for many reasons. But anyway, I never did. I bought it, and then I never really picked it up. I was like, gosh, like I have, like, what am I doing, you know? Like,
well, maybe just, well, I think you probably, when you started learning, you had a lot more time at the house.
Yeah, exactly.
So since you're in school, working, and you're paddling.
I mean, it's a good excuse. Yeah.
I'm giving you excuses.
No time.
I'm giving you excuses. You should take it.
No, yeah, but yeah, and then we will start, and by we, I mean me and my girlfriend, we will like watch them. Yeah, she is not as
committed to it or interested.
No, not as committed. She is interested. She wants to, but the thing is that I have an advantage. You know, I have an unfair advantage.
You have a lot of languages under your belt. Yeah.
It's Rapa Nui.
And Rapa Nui.
Rapa Nui. It's just an unfair advantage. You know, because I would pick up things way faster. You know, and so it would.
Did she find that annoying?
Yeah, you know, like it would, you know, it wouldn't make the learning experience as
you're no longer partners.
As nice for either of us, you know. I was like, oh, come on, let's go. And then she was like, oh, but why, you know. And so
I think that's a good actually thing to point out for people learning. It can be a point of contention for sure.
Yeah.
With your partner.
Yeah, with your significant other. For sure.
That's only one reason of maybe you have an advantage. But for me and my wife, when we were learning, it was just, I would say something, she would respond and said, what? That's not, no, I said this. I'm saying this. And then we were just both confused. So there were a lot of days where we're just, okay, we're not talking for the rest of the day and then we'll figure it out. Yeah, so.
I don't think we got to that level, but we would like look at the first video that you have in the series, right? You have like the first video and the
slideshow.
The slideshow and then
the quiz.
The quiz. And so in the first video, you know, like maybe like I will watch it once or twice, you know, and I got the gist of it. But with my girlfriend, you know, like we will have to go and then like we will pause it, you know, and we will go over what that sentence said.
Yeah.
But like even just like listening to it. Yeah. Because sometimes she couldn't like catch what the words were, you know. So we would like pause it, you know, and then we would go to the next sentence and then pause it. And then, I don't know if she knows this, but eventually I started doing the things on my own. And I started moving way quicker, you know. So I haven't finished Mahalo 2 yet, but
so you did go you made it sound like you didn't look at it at all. It looks like you guys did.
No, we did.
For quite a bit.
Yeah. And actually, at some point I had a cousin here living with me for like a month or two.
You told me about this.
Yeah,
I remember this.
And I showed her that. I was like, okay, we should do it because she also knows a little bit of Rapa Nui. Mm-hmm. And she was pushing me to speak Rapa Nui to her. And I was like, but Hita, you're here to learn English. So I should be speaking English to you. She was like, no, speak to me in Rapa Nui. Speak to me in Rapa Nui. And I was like, okay. So I showed her this, you know, just to get her exposed to another Polynesian language.
Yeah.
And so we will go through the sentences, you know, in like the quizzes or like the slides, you know, and it was really interesting to see, how, you know, just like her head, you know, like making the connections, you know, and be like, oh wow, like why?
So she was picking up on the similarities.
She was picking up on the similarities too. Yeah.
Fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it was super cool to see. You know, I mean, one thing is to experience it, but then to have someone just like look at like. I was in her shoes not too long ago.
Right.
And then, you know, I'm putting her in those shoes, in those same shoes, and I'm just like looking at her and it's like, oh, that must have been like what I was like, how I was like thinking about it, you know?
Yeah. A little bit of deja vu almost.
A little bit of deja vu, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. This song talks about how at some point in Rapa Nui, there was slavery. And the song says, the song is a song for the slavers, right? And it sings to them. And it says, you cut the line, you cut the, how do you say? You cut the timeline, pretty much. You know, you cut the cord of the timeline. But you weren't, it didn't get to the point where you were able to cut our roots. And the song then goes to say, essentially, we will never forget. We are still here. The tupuna are still alive. You know, the hakaara, which is like the hakaara is like reborn, rebirth, like Renaissance kind of thing. Te Hakahara o Te Tupuna, we are still here, and we will teach our kids, you know, and the roots still going.
That's good.
E ara te atira yo te tangata I to pai nei te nuane I aruro I here here ro te tatonu Mohaka anga I runga I te motu o te peru Au e, au e E ara te atira yo te tangata I to pai nei te nuane I aruro I here here ro te tatonu Mohaka anga I runga I te motu o te peru Au e, au e Ki mai na te tatonu E mauroa I te mau I te hakari Kutopanga E toenga o te rahi tatoa I hoki mai ai mo mate I te raua he nua Au e, au e
That's a good song.
That's a great song. Well, you said before we started filming you had questions, so
Yeah.
ask away about the Hawaiian language. Anything you have. If I know the answer, I'll give it to you. If I don't know,
Oh, actually, this is not so much about
The
the language itself, but like
Okay.
your experience learning.
Okay.
Because I mean, everybody that is watching this, you know, is watching it because of you.
maybe.
in the sense that like, you know, they know that you didn't speak it and then you learn it at some point.
Yeah.
And so my question is, how, like, what was your, did you have a strategy to learn specifically the a and o? You know what I'm talking about?
Just the vowel
Ko'u,
sounds.
ka'u.
Oh, okay.
You know
For
what I'm
that
talking about?
specifically?
For that specifically, because
Because
I mean it happens in Rapa Nui too. That
Possessive
like,
pronouns.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I don't know the technical words.
Ka'u,
You know,
ko'u.
Aye.
A strategy for that specifically? No.
No,
Not when I first
no
started.
strategy, right?
There's no strategy. I just, in English, we just say like, this is my bag, that's his house, this is our stuff.
Yeah.
But in Hawaiian and maybe Rapa Nui is similar, where it's, you can say like ka'u kerepona, my phone,
Right.
ka'u kerepona. But then you can say like ko'u pari'iri, my shirt. So
Exactly.
instead of ka'u, it goes to ko'u,
Yeah.
which gets really confusing for English speakers because we don't have that.
Yeah.
There's no comparison.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't have a strategy.
Okay,
It just
it's
was
just-
a shock, and I didn't understand why there was two. Why ko'u goes to ka'u sometimes.
But do you guys? Is there like a rule?
They've got
There's a
loose,
rule.
There's loose rules.
There's what? There's
Loose.
what? Loose rules.
Loose rules.
Okay. Okay, I want to hear those because
Oh,
so the thing is that in Rapa Nui, we also have that. You know?
Okay.
To'oku ta'aku, right?
To'oku ta'aku.
To'oku ta'aku, that would be
Okay.
ko'u ka'u.
Interesting.
And also there is loose rules.
Okay.
I mean, there's really
Maybe there's
like
probably some similarities. with that.
there's really like one rule, but it's very loose.
What is it?
So in Rapa Nui, you know, I would hear people say that like things that are your like part of you are to'oku, and everything else is ta'aku. Things that are yours, but not necessarily like part of you.
What do you mean part of you? Like a physical sense, an emotional sense, or is it all of the
Oh,
above?
you see, so that's why it's so loose because
So what if you
now
say my opinion?
to'oku mana'u,
Okay. My mother.
to'oku matu wahine.
Okay.
My
that's,
kid.
So your mother is, that's a familial relationship.
So
Your opinion is something within.
You took it to a whole different level
well,
because I was
that's-
thinking of just objects, like to'oku kamita or to'oku, you know.
It's just because when you ask the question, I know how I explain it. So this is
Okay.
part of me.
teaching.
Hey! Now, I don't know if it's teaching, but
Okay, no, I want to hear it. Yeah,
those are interesting.
because I think it's gonna help
Others.
Rapa Nui speakers too,
Okay.
because I haven't found one ta'aku to'oku that is different in Hawaiian.
Oh, okay.
So far they're all the same.
Okay, so that's very similar then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if it's your opinion is something that comes within, right? Your relationship with your mother, that's your family relationship. So like you said, it's part of you. So both of those are part of you. What about like your shirt?
To'oku.
Okay. One of those rules is like possessions that you have or things that you can like, they say like get into or on top of, which can be translated in different ways. But your shirt in Hawaii, you say komo ikapari'iri, komo iroko. So when you go in, you like enter, your body goes into it or it covers you.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's one way of thinking of it, like it's part of you in that sense. Your surfboard would be ko'upapa he enalu.
Same.
Wa'a, ko'uwa'a.
Hey.
Yeah. So those are all like inanimate possessions. They're just things, but you can get on them, or you can wear it. I don't know if this is the best way to explain it. So outside of like your family relations, your friend relations, those are all ko'u. Your mana'o, ko'u. Anything you feel, emotions, ko'u.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you start to speak to someone, you say, "This is what I said." Ka'u. Oya kaui olero ni. That's what I just said. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
So when you speak outwardly, "Oya kaui olero ni," that's what I said, or "Oya ka mahui ikiai," that's what we saw. Then ka'u for some reason. Is this helping?
Yeah.
Is that similar for you? How do you
is
say like
similar.
I just said that in Rapa Nui?
Like I was just trying to think about like how would you say it, but I wouldn't use a
You wouldn't say it
possessive.
like that.
I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't
How
use
would
a
you say-
possessive.
Yeah, the full part is like oia ka'ui ole rawaku nei, is to say like that is what I just said.
I would say peneia wiki atuei.
Ah, interesting. So you do au.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. You know.
Which you
it's a
can
me.
in Hawaiian
Yeah.
too. How about I'm trying to think. Now I'm trying to not get too deep into like. Make it like
I'm trying to make the sentence so that I use a possessive. You know.
well, how would you say something like I have a car to drive, or I have a car to ride in. I don't know.
Well, car will be toku. Ai roa toku pereoa. Ai roa toku pereoa mo tātou. O mo tāua.
Aha.
Yeah.
Tarewa.
Huh?
Tarewa. You said. How do you say drive?
Hakatere.
Oh, what was the other word you just said?
Moho. I said moho.
Okay.
So that we
I
go.
heard something that was similar to kaleva.
Kalaiva.
Kaleva drive.
Oh,
that's the English version, but
Oh,
okay. I don't know. I can't memorize what you just said. It was so fast. Yeah, it's hard to explain without like giving visuals or a lot of context. But I guess the general rule, if I could be more concise, is your family, friend relationships, ko'u. Apparel, things that you wear, typically ko'u. Slippers, shirts, hats,
Yeah.
ko'u, your car, your house, all that. When you have a pet, ka'u. Yeah, ka'u idio, my dog. Ka'u pua, my pig, if you have one of those.
That's
Similar?
a funny one. That's a funny one.
Okay.
Rapa Nui pua'a is cow.
What? It's cow?
Cow.
Like moo.
Oh, yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Pua
Pua'a.
is cow.
Pua'a is cow.
What is pig then?
Oru.
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 That's totally different.
I don't, somebody messed up at some point in the telephone game.
I don't know. Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, that's kind of like those are some of the.
What about-
they're
sorry.
loose rules because, from the way that I see it is that like some structures, it's not necessarily talking about a possession necessarily. So it changes.
I'm trying to test, your. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I am trying to test the rules that you're giving me. So.
Okay. That's good.
Ka'upua, right?
Okay.
How would you say cow in Hawaiian?
Ka'upipi.
Ka'upipi. Ka'upipi. What about horse?
Ko'urio. Wait, hold on a second. Because it has to do with that relationship, yeah?
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I think I've heard ko'urio for like, and then pipi. Okay, see, that's where that gets loose. Because I've heard ko'u pipi and
No
stuff too,
way.
when it's their like property.
Really?
So, again, it's like if you just said my horse that belongs to you, yeah, ko'urio, my pig and stuff, like ko'u could be. But when you say like that's my pig to sell, you can't take it and sell it for yourself, that's mine, then a lot of people would say like na'u kera pua'a e ku e aku, na'u kera rio e ku e aku, because it's kind of tied to a verb. And when you have the verb tied it to, instead of ka'u or ko'u, you have na'u or no'u, which is similar.
Yeah.
I'll hear na'u for that when they're talking about it, actions being
Okay.
done to that property.
So it's very similar to Rapa Nui. That like
So you got it.
The rule
For you, it's easy.
applies.
For anybody else that doesn't know like Polynesian languages, it's like
Yeah, the rule applies.
I usually just say, don't get hung up on it.
Okay.
Whatever comes out, and
Yeah.
and the more you listen to native speakers and how they use it, and the context of which why it changes, that's all you can do. English has a lot of exceptions too, and you could read it in a book someplace or have somebody explain it to you, but you learn it from sitting around a bunch of English speakers say things.
Yeah.
And why
And-
does it change all of a sudden?
And then
That's how it
eventually,
is.
and then eventually it just becomes like second nature.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
That's what I say, because people listening to this, they'll get a headache. It's a lot, it's confusing. It's like, here's the rule, but we break the rule too.
Exactly.
But we do that in every language.
Yeah.
So people listening in whatever language they come from, you have rules you break. Maybe you're just not aware of them. So it shouldn't deter people. I know it's hard for people, but yeah. Other question?
Can I check my phone?
No, you cannot look at your phone. Yeah, where's
Test that. Okay.
bust the phone out.
Let's see. This is not so much of a question, but I wanted to just discuss this.
Okay.
And like, what is?
That's fine.
How do you think that English has? Well, I guess here's the question. How do you think that English has influenced Olelo Hawaii?
I don't know if we could even name all the ways that it's influenced it. It's influenced it heavily. Yeah. You want to give specifics?
Well, the question I had this question, and this question first came to mind actually when I asked you, how do I say give me or pass me a fork, or give me, pass me, whatever, whatever it is, give me, pass me, and you try to explain it to me, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why? And then you told me, eha abi mai I. How do you say fork?
Fork, ika'o.
Eha abi mai ika'o.
Yeah.
Right? Ika'o.
Yeah, I made ika'o, yeah.
And I ask you, how come it's not eha abi mai ikikahi or I ho'okahi?
Oh, okay.
I ho'okahi o. In Rapa Nui, I would have said kawa'ai mai etahi patia. Patia in this case is, fork.
Etahi, is that
Etahi.
like one?
Etahi is one. But if I'm telling you, give me a fork, I will say, kawai mai etahi patia.
Okay.
Which I thought was super interesting. Why? In Pidgin, how do you ask for one thing? Or give me a fork.
How do I? I mean, you say like, give me the fork. Give me the.
Give me one fork.
Oh, that's another one, yeah.
Right? Which I thought that was super interesting.
Give me one fork.
Give me one fork.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but I thought it was super interesting. Now, the other thing is like,
That's very observant, because.
when you say in English, you say, give me a fork.
Yeah.
The a,
Singular.
that a
Saying one
is,
probably fork.
but there is no direct translation to, I mean, in this case, to Rapa Nui. In Rapa Nui, you would say etahi.
Okay, this is where I think calling gets really specific. I hear a lot of like, my friends on Ni'ihau, they'll say like, ha'i me ipa, ha'i me ipa, ha'i me I o. So there's no kekahi, there's no ka.
Wow.
There's just I and then whatever the object is. Ha'i me I o.
Right.
Ha'i me ipa, which is just grab a fork. They're not talking about a specific one. They're not saying one or whatever. She's
Just grab me one.
Grab me one.
Yeah.
And then they go get it. If they want another one, then they go, lage me kekai o. Bring me another one.
Oh, okay.
Might also be like, bring me a different one. So there's a distinction in that context of bring me something, yeah? Bring me a plate, and they'll bring a plate. If they want another one, ha'i me ikegahi. So that's one distinction. Ho'okahi is real specific to I just want one, not 2, 3.
Okay. Just one.
That's dealing
one.
with the number.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it does.
Can you do that in Rapa Nui, where you do like, how do you say, you said etahi for give me,
Kawai mai etahi.
how do you say like, bring me another one?
Kawai mai etahi haka'u.
Haka what?
Haka'u.
Haka'o.
Haka'u.
What is haka'o?
Haka'u is, again. It's
Okay.
It's like one more time. It's like hanaho. It's literally like hanaho.
Is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think so.
You tell me. You know Rapa Nui better than me. I couldn't say it,
I
but
think so. Hanaho.
because we
It'll be
can
like-
say like ha'i me kekai o hoaku is another way. Ha'i
Hoaku.
me kekai o sorry, what am I doing?
Ho.
Ikekai o hoaku, and ho is that another one, or you say hanaho ya to me again, but ho
Yeah.
is like again,
Ho is the again.
once more.
Yeah.
I don't know how else you would say it off the top of my head.
Kawai mai etahi haka'u. You were saying.
So kekai o ho or something like that.
Right.
So that might be more similar to it. 'Cause again, there's so the one I gave you when you asked it was just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. How I make o? Because I thought in the context, if you're at the table and just like how I make o, and you're gesturing to one,
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh, here's the fork. But if there's
They-
no fork present and you want one, you could just be like, oh, labi mai, ki grab a fork.
The E was that threw me
Different
off.
one, yeah?
It threw me off, yeah.
Yeah,
It threw
that
me
one's
off.
not very well known, but native speakers do use it.
Got it.
So there is distinction between like those different ones.
Cool. I thought that maybe that was like an English influence, and that's why I was asking you about the English influence.
okay.
I thought that could have been,
English influence in general, I mean, if you talk about Hawaiians like me learning now, all we know is English, standard English or Pidgin.
Right.
So when we learn Hawaiian, our English frame of mind is influencing how we perceive the language, and then if we learn it well enough to speak it, our expressions are being generated through an English lens, not a Hawaiian thinking lens.
Right.
So that's why I always say, that's just in general. So for my students, I always tell them, you have to listen to native speakers. They were exposed to English, but their foundation of Hawaiian is at a level and far more deep than we would ever have it at this point. So although it'll influence it, it's not going to have that same kind of influence, right? It's very solid. It's not going to it's not going to destroy the foundation they have in Hawaiian.
Right.
Whereas everybody else learning now we're based off of English. We learn Hawaiian, so a lot of what we think of is in English anyways, even with Hawaiian. So we speak English through Hawaiian to some degree.
Yeah.
So it's a huge influence for most people. Native speakers have influences where like, I've heard them do direct translations off the top of their head that sound funny. But that's like with phrases you'd say like, oh, that guy's off his rocker. That's an English phrase, an English idiom. He's off his rocker.
Got
In
it.
Hawaiian, you don't say that.
Right.
But you could come up with something, but it doesn't come from that Hawaiian lens, so it doesn't make any sense
Right.
in Hawaiian. So
I see what you're saying, yeah.
in any language, from my experience, like native speakers have to sit with a new word that was brought over, or a new concept, or a new phrase like that for a time before they grasp that whole concept. Then they come up with a word, or they
And incorporate it.
repurpose,
Yeah.
or they repurpose an old word.
Right.
You know, I always give the example of pahu, which is like the hula drum. Then came like a chest of, I don't know, valuables. They call that pahu waiwai, valuables. Like it looks like a pahu to some degree. Pahu hau, refrigerator. It's a cold
Refrigerator.
pahu.
Right.
So you just repurpose old terms, or sometimes they would come up with a new one, or they do those Hawaiianized versions of like brush, palaki, bowl, pola.
Right.
Now I'm going off on
but those two things happen in Rapa Nui too.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say, I've been a lot more observant of those things in Rapa Nui now that I have noticed in Hawaiian how like
Oh, interesting. How it influences.
how it has been influenced, but not. I mean,
Yeah.
how people have noticed that, and I'm like just noticing myself in my own language,
I guess in
And
our,
the same with like the idioms, like sayings that
idioms
you would
are
say in
very
Spanish.
difficult.
That you would say in Spanish, and then people say in Rapa Nui,
Yeah, and it doesn't make any sense.
But the thing is that
But
like,
they know Spanish, so maybe they get it.
but they get it.
Yeah.
That's the thing,
So that's that Spanish influence, though, I would say.
Yeah.
I would think that if you gave that Spanish idiom to somebody who only knows Rapa Nui and doesn't know any Spanish at all, I wonder what the reaction
I
would
think
be.
it would make no sense at all.
Right.
I think it wouldn't make any sense at all.
I've seen it, it's probably that way. Yeah, I would agree. Because I've seen native speakers of Hawaiian where they'll hear phrases and they're just like,
Yeah.
all of the new speakers of Hawaiian are laughing, and the native speakers just like, didn't get it.
Wow.
Just because of the lack of exposure to English.
Right.
Yeah. And again, where their perspective is generated and their thoughts and feelings are coming from are just from a different culture. Different culture, different language.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Round 2.
Okay.
Inu o lua i ke kope o oe me ka wahine.
Tōku wahine e unurua ia i te kape. Pero au ina, me tai hanga aku kape.
Inu o lua nara apau makahali. Ai,
Tōku
ori.
wahine e maha tātoa e unurua ia i te kape. Au ina.
Mea, ho aku
Me hanga aku, me hanga. Ata hanga au ki te te.
Inu ka ti ke kai.
Hakaroko.
O inu ka
Hakaroko
ti.
i
O
te.
me kuahine inu no mau ka ti. Are ke kope, are mau inu. E.
No, tōku wahine not me hanga ki te kawhe.
Kope wale no, ka wahine.
Ai.
O aka, o inu oi ka ti me ke kope.
No, ina au he unu i te kawhe. Ina.
Ai.
Tēnā.
Pēhea ka mea ka prao papaa. Ai ka prao me ka kope, ka prao kōpaa, ka kahiaka. Ke oro noho.
Te harawa. Ina,
Ka prao
i te
noho.
poa, me ta e kai au i te harawa, i te hora nei. Harawa, tōku wahine, e kai roa, e nā. Pero, i Rapa Nui, me e rawa kai i te harawa. Me rawa kai te harawa, i te pō, i te hora kai, i te hora tātoa, e kai roa i te harawa.
Ai mau. O ko ka poe o Rapa Nui, ai mau ka prao. Ka kahiaka, awakea, ahiahi, ai kōkea.
He me e o tire. Me e o tire te harawa o tire. Oh, nene te harawa o
Are, e
tire.
haka waha, ke o ko ai ke ra mea nioi. Ke o ko ai ka nioi, e haka waha, ke ra hua nioi.
Han me nioi.
Ka nioi o ke ra hua, ke oi ai, hoa maka kahe ka hou, he rea vela ke kino. E haka alero me ka waha.
Ina,
Ka
me
nioi.
tai hanga mātou rā me. Kai it mai te ingoa o rā me. Ina he ingoa mo rā me.
I Rapa Nui, ai no paha oko ka pua me ka pipi. Ai ka pua.
Te pua e he oru. He pua e he oru. He te hopu. O he tunuahi.
Ma Hawaii ni, ai mako ka poi. Lawe ke kalo, kui a riro no ke ra kalo i poi, ai me ke ra. Are paha oko ai ka poi i
Ina
Rapa
e
Nui.
poi. E kai mātou i taro, kai mātou i kumā.
Pehe ai e ke kalo, ai mea poke poke.
Ai.
Poke poke.
Hore. Hore.
Ke hoi ke mei ne oe makarima me ke ia. Poke poke.
He tunu i roto i te pani. Pani he vai. Taro i roto. Haka pihaa. Ki o te hore he kai.
Pehe oko ho'omo ai ka mea ka kalo, ka pua, ka pipi. Ho'oko ma i roko ka lua. Uhi. I roko no.
I roto i te pani.
Pani no ke ra.
I roto i te pani. Vai.
He hata pani.
Pani. Te pani he me takataka pene i.
Pani hao.
Penei te roa.
Are laau.
Lau.
Laau. Mea ke ra laau. Riki me ka laau i waha, kumo laau. Are laau ke ra pā. Ke ra pā
ole.
kini.
Ina. He me takataka pene i. Penei te nui. E hā iha i vai ki roto. Haka pihaa te vai. Hā i te taro. Haka pihaa te taro ko i ako te vai. He tunu, he kai.
Ono.
Nene.
Very good enough. Now we like to see how much we understood. Couldn't figure out, what is it, pani?
Pani.
What is that?
Pa.
Okay.
It's a pot with water.
I was thinking like pakini, which is like a pan kind, or like basin shape. But pot, okay.
No, it's
So pani, for us that's ipu.
like a pot. Yeah, a
Ipu.
pot with water. Oh, ipu?
Ipu.
Oh, like a...
Pani.
Okay.
So you
Ipu
said,
for us is, ipu originally is the... What is it called in English?
gourd.
The gourd, yeah.
Yeah.
That's ipu.
Nothing else
Which
is
translated, now they translate it to bottle. So anything that you put water in and like carry around with you, that's an ipu. Ipu vai.
Ipu wai, yeah.
Right.
We have ipu wai. Hue wai is another one, but similar.
For a bottle?
Yeah, because hue is a different kind.
What about
calabash. It's
omole?
calabash.
Is omole new or?
No. But omole is, now it's distinguished from my understanding as like a jar, bottle-like thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so pani,
Yeah, that was a hard one.
pani, water, we boil the water.
What was boil?
Piha'a, haka piha'a.
Hakapiha. That one I couldn't figure out. When you're saying haka, I was thinking haka for us, which is like there's still space inside. Like, so you're like, you put in the taro, you put in the vai, you said, And then you said something haka. And
Haka
I was thinking, you still get space, so he gets something else.
So
to put
haka
in.
for us is like your guys says ha'a or ho'o.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So ho'o haka is to, you said ho haka? To,
No.
no.
Haka piha'a.
Haka piha.
Haka piha'a
Haka piha'a is to
is
pour.
to boil.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. But if the water is boiling already, ko piha'a, ko
Okay.
piha'a te vai. If you're making it boil, e haka piha'a ko i te vai. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't pick that one up at all.
What I didn't get, we were talking about bread, right?
Yes.
Okay, bread.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you add something to the bread? Nioi?
Oh.
What is that?
I heard you say tire,
Tire.
and you told me before it was chili.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I cheated a little bit.
Yeah.
So I said like, oh, ai oko kera meka mea nioi, which is, nioi is
Wait.
pepper.
Pepper. Okay, so
Yeah,
I was guessing
chili.
correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, chili pepper is a
Chili
yeah.
pepper.
So then later you're like, how did you say what is? You said what is nioi?
Yeah, me nioi.
Yeah. And so I responded with like, oh yeah, he hua, o ka nioi he hua kera, which is like
A
is
fruit,
that-
like a fruit.
Fruit or vegetable?
Yeah.
He hua ka nioi ke ai kahe kohou.
Yeah, when you said that,
You start to sweat.
Yeah.
The tongue is on fire, and
yeah. But I mean, honestly, you mentioned it in the middle too. The hand gestures also
yeah.
give a lot of clues.
Because I was like,
It would be a lot different if we were like sitting like this and just talking. It would be a lot different.
what was I said poke for like to cube it up. To
I
make
knew
chunks
that.
of
I know.
Kalo, and what was yours?
Hore.
Hore.
Hore is just to cut.
Because hole for us is to like strip coal. What is it called? Sugar cane. When you strip the skin of the sugar cane.
Oh, okay.
Hole. Same for like the tea leaf when you rip them down. Hole.
Hore for us is to cut.
So it was recognizable because we have hole.
Right.
But I was like, it's not poke. It's not the same. That's interesting. What other terms? Oh yeah, what were some other ones? I had a different question, but oh wait.
That I don't think, well, it's different because I speak a little bit of Hawaiian, so I was like understanding most of what you were telling me.
Yeah. So I cheated with one word, but he knows a little bit more Hawaiian. I don't know any Rapa Nui really at all.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting because I
So-
can't understand the context.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So what did I say about chili though?
I think you season it on the bread, maybe? You're using it as a seasoning, I thought.
No. So chile, tire, is only for the country.
Oh.
Not for the fruit.
So
Not for the.
why did you say tire?
I was saying
You
that.
get the bread from Chile.
I was saying that bread from Chile is really good.
Okay.
So we eat it a lot in Rapa Nui.
that was where the confusion was then.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think I would have had the confusion if I didn't know what tire was, and I thought
Right.
Chili,
You were
the-
associating it with the vegetable, with the fruit. Yeah.
whatever
So,
it is. I think
yeah,
it's
but you got the other part that like I was saying, like we eat it all the time in the morning. In the
yeah, I actually got
afternoon,
coffee initially. I was like,
Right,
do you and your partner drink coffee?
And I said,
yeah.
no.
You said no for you.
I said, yeah.
You said your wife or partner drinks coffee and tea,
Yeah.
but you just
I just drink tea.
okay.
Yeah. For the most part.
I don't know if I got that.
Oh, really?
100%. Was it making sense? I don't remember.
I think it was making sense. I mean, it was making sense to me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think a hard one for you would be that our no or like negation is ina. Yeah. So whenever I was saying ina is no.
So how do you say I don't drink coffee? Was it?
Me eta e unu. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna use ina, of course, in this example.
Oh, so it's different.
It's different. So
Loose rule.
we have different. We have now that I think about it, at least two ways of negation,
Okay.
which also made it hard for me
With Hawaiian.
with Hawaiian because
Okay.
I didn't know how to translate it. But we have ina, which is no or nothing, and then we have tae, which is usually like without.
Okay.
You know?
We have ole, but that's like a part of ole or aohe, like ole.
We also have kore, but kore is like there is none. But so I would say me eta e unu it cafe.
Well, how did you use ina then before?
Because you asked me if you drink coffee, and I said ina.
Okay.
Ina, me eta eunua ko kape.
Yeah, interesting. Now we're gonna jump into a segment where we go through specific words, specific terms that are similar, and maybe we'll find some that aren't at all. We've already gone through a lot already. Yeah, you want to read them? Yeah, we'll do it in English. Like, what is the word for like earth? The earth.
Henua.
Okay, ours is honua. What about
I'm
like?
smiling a lot because I already seen the words that we were gonna talk about, and I know that all of them are almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about this one? For when we say aina, like land, that can be island and stuff. Do you guys have something like that?
Kainga.
What? And that means the same thing.
Yeah.
Kainga,
Kainga.
aina.
Kainga.
Okay. Same thing. About
Pretty much the same thing. K and G.
ocean, sea.
So ocean sea, we were talking a little bit about this.
Yeah.
So ocean sea, there's multiple names. There's Tai, which will be the closest to Hawaiian, but often more associated with tides. Then there is Moana, which I mean, the deep blue ocean, Moana.
I like to think of it as like the I don't know what you call it in English, but like all of the ocean throughout the world kind of a thing, like the big, how it's all connected. Moana, kai Moana.
So for example, the name for the Pacific Ocean is Te Moana Nui a Kiwa in Rapa Nui. So Moana.
Moana nui akea.
Right?
There you go.
And then there's also Waikaba, which is, I would say, the one that is most often used. Waikaba, meaning
Everyday usage, like if you go fish, you go surf.
yeah,
Waikawa.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What about drinking water?
Wai.
Wai.
If you want to specify, that is, what's it called? Like
Drinking.
potable drink, to drink is Wai Mangaro.
Waimanalo.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. As opposed, to Waikaba. So we have Waikaba and then Wai Mangaro.
That's like the same.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've heard speakers say something like, "Wai hapakai." Wai hapakai would be like brackish water. And they say like, they knew where you don't go too high up, you don't go too far to the sea, you gotta hit the right spot. And they said like, I'm forgetting, but they said like, homakau kawai imanalo. Kawai imanalo, yeah, where it's like, so that it becomes drinkable.
Until it's drinkable.
Yeah. Interesting.
I
That
don't
was
know.
not even on the list.
Yeah.
But Waimanalo.
Wai Mangaro.
Where's the emphasis? Waimanalo, Waimanalo.
Wai Mangaro.
Yeah, so it's the same for us.
Yeah.
Waimanalo.
Mangaro.
What about like water, rainwater?
And Wai Ua, we call it.
Waiua.
I mean,
Same.
rain we call Ua.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Ua. You can say Wai Ua, but
Ua.
it's just Wai.
Yeah.
Or Ua. Yeah.
Okay.
We
wind.
have
Wind.
wind. This is a different
Different one.
Yeah.
Makani.
Tokerau.
Oh.
Yeah.
Olau.
Tokerau.
Is that where the trade winds come from? That side. Is that wait, Tokerau?
Tokerau.
Tokerau. Is that one part of the island?
No.
Not like here. So yeah, Ko'olau. We're on Kona side, where I live, Ko'olau. You guys don't have that.
No.
What are the lands?
There's no mountain dividing the island.
That probably makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's no. Do you have like a north, south, east, west?
Yes, but they're associated with the winds.
How so? Okay. what are those?
So in the sense that I mean, I never thought about it as in like north, but as in like coming from
that way.
north. You know what I mean? Like coming from now, what we know now as north.
Now you know, but before
Yeah.
it was just when this wind comes this way, you know where it's coming from.
So north would be Te Pakakina.
Okay.
So Te Pakakina is the wind that comes from north. And then the other ones are associated with landmarks. So Puhi a Orongo would be south. And that's because Orongo, there's a village called Orongo, is south. Motutakarua, west, because Motutakarua is on the west.
That's a land. That's the name of a piece of land over there.
Yeah,
Okay.
and rock offshore. Roto Niu is west.
Those are very.
sorry,
different.
east.
Yeah, those are completely different.
Yeah, but I think it has to do with like the landmarks.
Yeah. What about Kanaka?
Tangata.
Same meaning.
Tangata.
Okay. Wahine.
Wahine,
Kane.
tane,
All my friends on Niihau would say tane.
tane,
Tane, wahine.
yeah,
Kupuna.
tupuna,
Yeah.
yeah.
What
There's no this
Mo'opuna.
makupuna.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting some. Keiki. Kamali'i.
That's a different one. So for
Kamali'i
us, it's
keiki.
nowadays it's poki,
Poki'i.
yeah,
We
which
have
is
Poki'i,
yeah,
which is like a younger
the
one.
last. Yeah.
Yeah.
For us, it's hangupotu is the last.
Okay.
But poki is singular, nga poki, plural.
Yeah.
But there's texts that say that it used to be tamariki for the kids, tamaaroa for the boys, tamahahine for the girls.
Oh. We have like Kekamahini for
Yeah.
girls. Kikikani, boys.
Nga poki, poki and nga poki.
Poki might be Poki'i, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Poki'i.
I mean,
Interesting.
it sounds like it could come
It's
from
always
the same.
it's always the younger one. If there's one kid, it's the one that's under.
No, but for example, in Rapa Nui, if I ask you, you know, how many kids you have, here nga poki, you know, how many kids you
yeah.
have, you know, regardless of if it's the last one or the
Okay,
first one.
that's
It's
just a
nga
general
poki,
term.
yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
What about Makua? Matua.
Matua,
Matua.
matua,
Okay.
matua wahine, matua tane,
So the Matua goes tua.
matua, matua.
Interesting.
Yeah, matua.
Other ones.
Sky or heaven.
Lani.
Rangi,
Okay.
rangi.
Easy.
Irungai te rangi.
What about owl? Owl.
Ao,
Cloud.
ao tato. Oh, he rangi.
Hirangi.
Rangi is the same word.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
Cloud in the sky.
yeah.
La.
Hirangi.
What about la?
Ra'a, ra'a,
Ra'a.
ra'a.
Mahina. Malama.
Mahina.
Mahina. It's not
Mahina.
Marama for you guys. Mahina. Wow.
Where's malama? Here?
Both.
For real? Oh, I never knew.
Yeah. Certain people would use Malama.
Say Mahina?
Mahina.
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 Oh, for us, mahina.
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 Mahina. Yeah, Mahina.
Mahina.
Yeah.
San.
O-
One.
One.
Yeah. One. Same. Greetings. How about?
Aloha. You have
We do have aroha. We do have aroha. But more commonly you will hear yorana.
What's the distinction? You know, or is it just same?
Honestly, I don't
Yorana.
know. But the word
Yorana,
aroha though
aroha.
has, in a different context, is used for, like for example, the expression kote aroha is like, oh, like how sad. Yeah.
Aloha no, aloha ino. We say.
Kote aroha. Yeah.
Aloha ino. Aloha no.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about awe?
Awe? Yeah.
Same. Awe.
Awe. That
What-
seems to be,
throughout.
yeah,
Polynesian.
throughout, eh?
Same with
Awe.
aloha, awe.
Aroha too. Yeah.
Okay.
Aroha.
What are some other ones?
Mahalo we don't have.
Mahalo.
We say maururu, but I think that's just influence from Tahiti. I'm not sure. Maybe.
Is it? Oh, it is similar. Yeah. That's kind of how they say them. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of influence from Tahiti at some
It
point.
sounds like, I mean, if you're using yorana,
Yeah.
again.
Yorana and maururu. Yeah.
What about
For sure.
pau?
Pau?
When something's done.
come on.
Pau. Pau kame ai.
Yeah, pau.
Pau kahana.
Pau. We do use pau, but we also have oti.
Oh, we have oki too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Similar meaning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as common though. Pau is far more common, but you'll find it in older texts. What about, I'm gonna finish saying, like I'm gonna be finished what I'm talking about. You're gonna stop
Oti.
talking.
Oti.
Yeah, so in the old text they say like ho okia no I ka orero ana.
Ah.
Yeah.
Like if
Whereas now
I
it's
ask you
pau.
like, are you done? Kotiakon?
With what? Food?
For whatever.
Yeah, mostly pau. Pau ka me ai. Is food done? Pau ka hana. Yeah. Oki
But
is there.
if I say like, oh, the food is gone, the food is paua,
What is it?
pau,
Okay.
paua.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are gonna know that one. People that are learning not gonna know about oki, but it's one that
Oh,
we
yeah?
have. Yeah.
Oh,
so
right
it's
on.
interesting. Okay, keep going.
Okay, family.
Ohana.
Hua'ai.
That's different.
Yeah.
Ohana.
Hua'ai.
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 Yeah.
That's an edible vegetable or food for us.
Yeah.
Hua'ai.
Hua'ai. Si hua'ai.
Completely different. Okay.
Yeah. Pa.
Mana'o.
Mana'u.
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 Close enough.
Close enough. Food.
Mea ai.
For us will be just kai.
Yeah, so ai in like the older text, it seems like it refers a lot to kalo for us.
Oh.
I mean, it can mean ai like that, but yeah, I'm not sure when that happened where mea ai became the one. But Samoa is mea ai too.
Mea ai too.
Yeah.
For us it's just kai. I mean, you could say me kai, but it just sounds weird.
So you get kai. Wait, what was it?
Huh?
Food?
Kai.
Kai. How do you? Okay, so tai is ocean.
Yeah.
Tai kai,
Kai.
food.
Yeah.
Wai water.
Yeah.
When you pronounce the W,
We don't have W.
sorry, the V. The V, yeah?
Yeah. Vi.
Wai.
Yeah. Vai.
But it's not like hard, huh? Or do you hear speakers do both? Where it's emphasized like vai, vai. Because if I do like a...
I honestly don't know the difference.
Okay.
It,
People always ask me about it in Hawaiian, like the W, is it a...
because you guys have it like visually too. You know,
Yeah.
like we don't have it visually. We just
the
divide.
V.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's more close to. I mean, it's definitely more close to like the hard
sound.
V.
Yeah?
There is not even close to like a W sound.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's V.
Okay, that one was just for me.
Coconut.
Niu.
We also call it new.
But you have another one.
But we have
You
another
guys have
one,
so many other ones.
which is ha'ari.
What is it?
Ha'ari.
Ha'ari.
Ha'ari. Tumu ha'ari would be
Ha'ari.
the tree, but the tree is also called new.
But you guys don't get confused, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No. New.
Fish.
I'a.
Ika.
Kalo.
Taro.
Yeah. Friends from Nihao do talo.
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 Oh.
Yeah.
What about sweet potato?
Uala.
Kuma.
Nah, different.
Kuma. Or kumara.
Who's
That would
Mara?
be, that's close. Kumara.
Who's Mara?
That was terrible.
What about salt? What's it? Pakai.
Miti.
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 Miti is the season for us.
The season?
It's like seasoning you can do.
Oh,
I think,
seasoning.
yeah. Or
Oh,
fish,
wow.
yeah. Miti. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I think I'm remembering it right.
Yeah.
Miti.
Rapa Nui is just salt. Miti.
Miti.
Miti. Lungitika. Okay. I think we went through all of the list that you had. Oh,
Yeah.
but so the one I had was, and I think I heard in one of your latest podcasts or short or whatever, is the words for breaking.
Aha. There's a lot of those.
So if I say nga'aha,
Huh?
nga'aha, nga'aha,
Injuries?
he nga'aha te hapaina te mene he nga'aha.
It's like nanaha, which is to shatter.
Yeah.
Nanaha.
Nanaha.
We have nanaha, nahaha. There's variations. Okay.
Nga'aha, that would be nga'aha.
Naha.
Yeah.
But that's for glass.
Not necessarily for glass, but like
Things come-
it's like like shattering. Yeah.
What about haki?
Hati.
Yeah, ni'ihao hati too.
Hati?
Yeah, hati.
Hati.
What about string, like a rope?
Motu?
Yeah, or is this too? Moku.
Moku?
Yeah.
Motu. For us.
Hore hore. What about oki? Oki.
Koti koti.
Yeah.
Koti koti. Yeah. We use it mostly for like scissors kind. Like that kind.
Yeah.
cutting. Koti koti.
It's funny how what's interesting how certain words are like for specific things.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot speak for all of the different contexts, but that's the context that, that I've
Okay, yeah.
heard it for.
Yeah.
Koti koti te parau.
Yeah.
And you cut the
What about pa'i?
pa'i.
Pa'i. No?
No.
Oh, you guys don't do that in Rapa Nui? You guys don't?
Pu'a.
Pu'a? Oh, for real?
Pu'a. Pa'i. No, I haven't
Pa'i,
heard
no
pa'i.
pa'i. Hili.
I don't think so.
Hili. Just to like whack somebody with something. With like a stick. Hili. No? What
No.
about lei? You guys have lei?
Lei is a funny one. Lei is an interesting one. So lei for us nowadays will be carone.
But you don't use lei. That's not a word for you guys.
So check this out.
Okay.
Check this out. Someone at some point messed up. Okay? Someone at some point messed up the translation. Carone, and this is a theory, this is my theory. Carone,
Some
I
kind of
believe,
rose.
comes from crown,
Crown.
but we use it for this, right?
Yeah.
For lei. Now, if you look at the Rapa Nui flag get one symbol in the middle. And it was used as a chest plate for the king. And it was made out of wood.
Okay.
And it's called Rei Miro. So my theory is that Rei is in fact lei. Rei. And it was just a wooden lei.
Ah. Miro
Because
is
Miro in Rapa Nui is wood.
any kind of wood.
Any kind of wood.
Okay. We have Milo as
Milo,
it's
the
a
tree.
kind of tree, yeah.
Yeah. Rei Miro.
Interesting.
So they technically would be, I would say, maybe back in the days, Rei.
This is
But
right.
today we use Carone. Like if you go to the airport, you know,
Carone.
Maume he Carone.
Wow.
Nā, mahalo ke hui ana.
Mahalo ya oe.
Ai, ho maka no ka wara au maka ole o Hawaii. Hai mei no ko ai na hanau ia oe mahia.
Wahanau iau mai i Rapa Nui. I Rapa Nui.
Hanau, hanai ia oe marira ke kahi. O hanai ia oe, ma Rapa Nui.
Ua hanai iau.
Hanai ia, ai, hanai ia a nui.
Ai, ua hanau ia iau ma Chile.
Oh.
Ai, holo kou makua wahine, me kou makua kane ma Chile. Hanau ia iau ma Laila. Ai, holo hau mai ki Rapa Nui.
Marira, hanau ia oe i Chile.
Ai,
Aka hanai ia i Rapa Nui.
ai, hanai ia iau ma Rapa Nui.
Pehe ko mau makua, hanau ia lawa i Rapa Nui.
Ko makua kane ai, ua hanau ia ma Rapa Nui. Ko makua hine, ua hanau ia ma Chile.
Aka orero me oe o are Chile, are Chile ko
Tire.
makua hi. Tire.
Ha?
Are tire ko makua hi.
Ka ohana o kou makua hine no Arimani la koua, Germany,
Keramania.
Kelemania,
Keramania.
Kelemania. Arimani maka ole lo Rapa Nui. Arimani. Ua holo la kou ma Chile. Ua hanau ia i kou makua hine ma Laila.
Aka ko makua kane he Rapa Nui.
Kou makua kane he Rapa Nui ia, ua hanau ia i ma Rapa Nui.
E hia keiki a ko mau makua. O oe, oe.
E lua wale no, o wau, me kou kai kuahine, pehe ole lo. Kai kuahine.
Ke kumehine o ia.
Ai, kai kamahine.
O hanau mua ia o ia.
A ole.
O oe. O oe ka hia ko
Ai,
kamua.
au ka hiapo. Ai. Ko makua kane, lua mau keiki kane ona. E lua keiki kane hou ona.
Me ke kai.
Ai ole, me ke kai wahine.
A ke rawa hini he Rapa Nui o ia ke
Ai,
kahi.
ai, Rapa Nui.
Mau no ko lawa noho ana.
Mau no?
Mau no ko lawa noho mali ana. Noho mali o ia i Mary. Noho
A
mali.
ole.
Ali ua ka
A ole. Noho pū laua a ka a ole laua i
Mali.
I Mali. Ai.
He mea maa mau ke ra i Rapa Nui.
Mea maa mau?
Noho ke kane me ka wahine a ka ali mali.
A ole.
A ali.
A ole. O ko makua kane a ole ia i mamake
E mali.
e Mali.
Ali pirikia.
I ke ia manawa a ole au i mamake e Mali. I ke la mea.
He wahine he ipo kau. He wahine kau.
Ai. E wahine Hawaii.
No Hawaii mai o ia.
No Hawaii mai o ia. Ai. Ua hanau ia i o ia ma nei, ma oahuni. Aka ona ohana mai ka mokupuni o Hawaii.
Ma he orua i hui ai.
Ua hui ai ma ua ma Oregon. Ua hele au i ke kula nui o Oregon. Ua hui ma ua i Laila. O ma Laila.
He marira no? Pau ke kula o holo mei orua i nei. I o aku.
Pau ke kula, kou kula, holo ho au i Rapa Nui,
Noho marira ho
Noho
kahi,
malaila
e
ho
rua
kahi makahiki, ho e lua makahiki paha. Ua holo mai o ia i nei,
Oahu nei.
i Oahu nei. Ho maka o ia pai ole loa, hana,
Hana.
hana o ia mā nei.
He hakana hana?
PR,
Pia...
Public Relations.
E.
Ai.
Ai hana. Hana nui ki era.
Ai, nui
Wala
ka...
au mau ma ke kera pona.
Wala au ma ke kele pona, ma loko o ka kame piula, ke kahi, Zoom meetings. I ke la manawa, mana o au, mamake au hele hou au i ke kula nui. So I applied to UH. And I ka makahiki i wakalua,
E.
ua holo mai au ma ne i ma Hawaii ni.
He haka uni nau. He hana ka au? Hana oe? Anu hana? He anu hana no?
Ai
Ale hana
hele au
maui.
i ke kula, hele au i ke kula. A o au i ka mea, i
Na hau mana?
nā maumea a ka hana me ka o ana
Riki.
me,
He hake nā. Hana na me e rua.
ke a o ana he hana.
E. He mahere ke ra o ka hana. O ke kai mahere part.
Ai, ai, ai.
Ke a o oe o e ke kai mahere. O ke kai mahere. He haka mahere e ai.
He haka mahele ea.
E. Ko mahere e rua. Mahere e kahe, a o. Mahere e rua. Ko kua i
Oi, oi.
nā kumu.
Ke a o ana he hana. He hana ke la.
Right?
They're both the same.
E. O, e ke.
You know what I mean?
Ai, ai.
Ai.
Mapupu.
Ai.
Kau ni nau ia o ina o ka mahere hana o ke a o ana. Ke a o ana o ia ho'okahi mahere. That's one part, yeah, teaching. O ke kai mahere, another part is o rero e rua ma ano hana.
A ole.
A ole. A o re no.
A o au. A ole au i a o i ke kahi mau. Poi.
O e ka hau mana.
Ai, o au ka hau mana. Ai. Ka mea au e a o nei,
Ai.
he hana.
O ia.
Ai. He hana.
He aha kera hana.
E hana maloko i ke kame piula. I ke i nā mau...
O e ka nalu. Nalu.
Ai, ka nalu.
Ke nana o e ke kai.
Ke nana mākou i ke kai.
Ka pi'i me ka emi ana.
Ai. Ai.
Maka namu he ka...
Through the satellites, A ole au i ke pehe ai ole loi ke la.
Ma o ka satellite.
Ai.
Ma o ka satellite.
Ma
Through it, yeah,
o ka satellite.
yeah.
Ai. Ka ho'o pa'a. Pe ho'o pa'a ki'i.
Pa'iki'i.
Pa'iki'i. Pa'iki'i.
Pa'iki'i.
Pa'iki'i o ke...
Na ka satellite e pa'iki'i i ke kai.
Ai. Satellite imagery,
Ai.
Pa'iki'i satellite.
Pa'iki'i i ke kai.
Ai. Pa'iki'i i ke
A
kai.
ho na kera mo ki'i e ho i ke ka emi me ka pi'i ana o ke kai.
It's one of the things that we use.
Ai.
Yeah.
Eke ina.
Ke kahi a ole o lelo no ke ia simulation. Ai.
O simulation.
Simulation maloko ke kame piula e pehea kanalu e holo nei
Nui
maluna
kanalu,
ke
are nalu, po'i ke kai,
ai
kai mai.
pehea ole loi holo ke kai maluna o ke o ka honua overwash
Overwash, yeah.
like run up
Me nui ke
ke hele o i ke kai
Pai ke kai i ke one.
ai
Pai mai. yeah.
ai
Pai mai ke kai.
pai ke kai maluna o ke ona
Ai.
simulation of that.
Ai woi a kahi wo alohe no ke ia. Me o ke ia. Okay, so what did you just say?
So I was trying to explain the idea that what I'm learning from school, it goes together with the work that I do. It's hard to explain that the graduate work and the graduate studies kind of goes hand in hand, goes together. So the working and the learning is part of the same thing.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of ways you could say it, but that one way is just like ka'u o ka'u mo mea e a'o nei. A me ka'u mo mea e hana ni o like. I mean that's one way. Like, you can say like ka'u mo mea e a'o a e hana nei. What I'm learning and working on is the same. Yeah, it's similar. Yeah, same thing.
I understand.
Is it you were talking about being a student and the job, the position you have, yeah?
Yeah. That's the position.
The position is that?
It's the student.
Oh,
It's the graduate student is the position.
Okay.
Graduate researcher.
Yeah. I think just more explanations for it would help. Like if you're like, because I asked you, he hana kau, you have a job, yeah? And she's like, he hana no kau. And then you explain like, okay, a'o ana o he hana kera. Something like that.
Yeah.
That would, for me, I understood it as teaching is
the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I was trying to say,
But it could have been
the
learning. I wouldn't assume learning because
Right.
it's a job, and usually learning isn't a job.
Right,
So
yeah.
that's why I was thinking, okay, that's where the misunderstanding came.
Yeah.
Was there anything else?
Well, then I was trying to explain what we do and you know what I'm learning and what we do, you know, as that job. Which
I think that was pretty good though.
yeah, I was trying to explain, like we look at satellite imagery, to look at how
yeah,
they.
ho'opa'aki was one, yeah, but pa'iki'i was good. Because pa'iki'i, the satellite takes the
Yeah,
pictures.
the satellite taking
Takes
the
the image.
pictures, we can see how the coastline changes. And
What
then-
I said was nakera mau ki'i e ho'ike ka pi'i me ke emi ana o ke kai, which
Yeah.
is
with the
those pictures
tell you
give you information about the rising and
Yep.
what is it? Rising and what of the sea.
lowering, rising,
Sure.
lowering,
Yeah, that's good.
retreating.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then I
I
was
think
trying to
that's
say
pretty good.
that we also couple that with simulations of how the waves run up the shore.
So that's something in addition that you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you do that, if you said like, so you explain the pa'iki'i part, then you could say like ea kahi, which is to say like also, or that's one way you start.
Ea kahi.
Ea kahi. We do simulation like hana maku simulation or whatever
Gotcha.
that. I don't know
Ea kahi.
exactly what that entails,
That's-
but then you would once you
that's-
do like ea kahi, then you can tell me like, or you say oke kahi hana, another task or another piece of work we do. Oke kahi hana o ya ke ia.
That's a really good word
Some of
to
those
learn.
fillers.
And also,
Yeah.
ea kahi,
Ea kahi.
ea kahi. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Ea kahi.
Or what I did was like, oke kahi hana, another task,
Okay.
and then you would tell me what that is.
Gotcha.
Simulation. Oke kahi hana, simulation. Pa'iki'i, nana mako I na ki'i o ka satellite I pa'iai. Oke kahi hana, it's a simulation. But I don't know what that is. You'd have to explain.
Yeah.
I can't help you explain that. I don't even know what that means.
No, I was struggling with that. I was thinking like even in Rapa Nui, I don't know how I would explain it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. No,
it's
yeah.
not something that.
No, we don't talk about it
Yeah.
in Hawaiian or Rapa Nui.
Even in like I don't know if I would
Yeah.
be able to explain in Spanish, bro. Like all I learn about simulation and all that, I
Yeah.
learn it in English. So
Well, that's a very specific field that
Yeah.
I don't think not many people talk about anyways in English.
yeah.
Ma Hawaii ni ai maku ka ia me ka poi. Kalo, ka uala, na hua ai like ole. Oia ka mako mea ai. I Rapa Nui, ai uko ke kalo.
Ai mako ke kalo, aka ke kalo e peha o lai.
Ali kui I ke kalo. Pedi ki me maku.
Ale.
Kui e?
Ale.
Ali kui.
Ale.
Oki oki.
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 Oki. Ai.
Ia mako, na hope ka oki oki.
A ohelo ia. Mala Rapa Nui. Mala vale no.
O he kalo malo o ke rā. Kalo malo o.
Kalo malo.
E, kano I roho ka repo. A ka ahare wai.
Ai.
Nui ka wai o Rapa Nui, ua mau, a ali.
Ua vale no. A ohe mauna.
Ai mauna, I Rapa Nui.
Mauna e peha o lai.
Ki. He mauna no a
He
ka.
mauna no a ka.
Ari ki.
Ale ki. Ai. I ke ia mea a ohe a peha o lai. A ohe peha o lai.
O ka mauna oia kahi e hauri e ka ua.
Ai.
E na aare mauna,
Ai.
ka kahi ka ua ana.
Ai.
Li I ka ua.
Li ka ua, I mean, ka ua iho nei, iho ka ua. Pehe ole loi.
Ai no ke ano haʻule ka
Haʻule.
ua, heleleʻi ka ua, i nā liʻiliʻi heleleʻi.
Heleleʻi.
I nā nui aʻe haʻule.
Ka ua heleleʻi nei, he ua no nā storms a.
O ka ino,
Hola.
ino.
Hele mai ka ino, heleleʻi ka ua.
Ai.
Aka-
Ke rapure aku nei ua hiki mai ka ino.
Ai,
ia
ai,
nei.
ai,
Ke hiki mai ke hiki aku ka ino i Rapa Nui,
ai.
haʻule ka ua.
Haʻule ka ua. Ai.
Ola ka aina.
Ola ka aina. Ai. A ohe a pehe ole lai alawai. Alawai?
O ka Hawaii,
Kahawai?
ale ka Hawaii.
Ale kahawai.
Pea ka
Kahawai
puna
mea
wai.
mea iki liʻiliʻi wale no.
Olovi, olovi.
Hoʻokahi.
Hea ke rā ololi.
Hoʻokahi wale
Ololi.
no. I nā mau la pehe ole lai. Pehe ho.
Eli,
Aole. Te ua. Ua.
haʻule ka ua.
Haʻule ka ua. I nā mau la haʻule nui nei ka ua. Ke la ka Hawaii is born, eh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Ke haʻule ka ua,
Ke haʻule nui ka ua,
kahe ka wai.
kahe ka wai. Ai,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I'm trying.
Ai, okay, no, okay. Hoa ono oe. Pea ka puna wai. Puna wai oia ka wai puka mai roko mai o ka honua.
Ai, puna wai.
Roa ka puna wai.
Ai,
Nui na puna wai.
Aole.
Inu o kou i kera wai, no loko mai o ka puna wai, ai ore mai ka hariku ai.
Hiki oe inu i ke la wai, a ole mako
Are inu.
inu.
Viho kera wai, are o ko hoʻopa, are inu,
Ale inu
noko.
na mau pehe ole loi na mau pipi
Inu ka pipi.
meka
Holo-holona. Inu ka holo-holona.
inu ka holo-holona i
Mai
ke
ka
la
puna wai
wai.
mai.
Ai maka puna wai.
Ai.
Ai puna wai kahiko ke la.
Oh.
Puna wai tupuna. Ua pehe.
Eli
ole-
ia, eli.
Ua eli la ua.
Eli ka lepo. Ai
Eli
ore
ka lepo.
ki o e.
Puka nui.
Ah,
Nui lalo.
e.
Ha? Pehe ole lai? Ke ia?
I ka wai,
Aole i
ka lepo.
I ka lepo.
Eli.
Eli ka lepo. He vai ma loko.
A loo ka wai.
Loko ka vai.
Eli rako i ka lepo, a loo ka wai.
Ai.
Maralo.
And then make like a stone wall up.
O kukulu i ka pā apuni.
Ai. Ai.
A liro ke raka lua wai. A makanamu, well.
Ai. Puna vai ka inoa ma ka olelo Rapa Nui.
E.
Puna vai.
Roa e
Nui ka
roa.
puna vai ma Rapa Nui.
Oh.
Ma ke kahakai.
Ia mako ka puna wai. Roa wale no ka wai. A are nake kanaka i eli i ka lua. A ka mea i eli ia o e ka lua wai. Ka puna wai, roa wale no.
Gotcha. Ai.
A are nake kanaka eli i ka lua. Ho, makani nui kia Manoa e.
Ai. E kolu mau puna vai ma Rapa Nui. He mauna no Rapa Nui. Like me Diamond Hera. Ko rano raraku ka inoa. Ma loko ke la mauna. He puna vai.
O puna wai nui.
Puna vai nunui.
Ho.
He rano ti ingoa. Ma ka olelo Rapa Nui. He rano.
He puna wai ai ole he ano ki o wai. Hiki au ke wehe he mahape.
Ai.
Puna wai ulu wale no. Pua i mai ka wai. Mai roko mai o ka honua. Pua i
Like me na
Kagera? It just comes through.
like me na puna vai no hilo.
Oh yeah, pāre o ike.
Ah.
Ale o
Ma ke
ike
kahakai
kera
i
mo
hilo
puna
wa.
wai.
Ma ke kahakai i hilo.
Oh yeah, pāre mga popo.
Vai manalo
O
wa.
marihini.
Vai manalo
Vai
maloko.
manalo. Oh.
Vai manalo maloko wa. Ka puna vai.
Ai.
Yeah.
Vai manalo no
Ai.
kira.
Ai.
Ai.
So,
Yeah, what was the hard part there? I think Puna, we gotta talk about Punawai.
Yeah, we have to talk about
Luawai,
Punawai.
and Ki'owai.
Yeah,
So Punawai, I thought it's a spring.
a spring.
So it's just water that exists in the earth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Punawai in Rapa Nui is a well.
Oh, same word.
Same word.
Punawai.
Punawai.
Interesting.
Punawai is a well.
And then I think Luawai, I mean, it could be a well. If you built a rock wall around it, it's still a Punawai because it's not man-made, that water. Like, we didn't dig for
Yeah.
We didn't dig and then, like, wait for the rains to come or
No,
anything like
no.
that. It just
The vai
exists.
exists there. You know, so you just dig
Then
to
maybe
it.
it is the same.
Yeah.
Punawai. It's just when
Punawai.
you were talking about building the wall, I was like, okay, now I'm thinking more like, I was gonna understand if, like, you guys dug it out so that when water fell, you would have water there.
No.
Okay.
You dig down to the water table and.
So then probably Punawai is the same. So maybe we understood each other.
But then,
The one inside the mountain that you were talking about.
yeah, it's like
Oh,
a
that's a
little,
luau.
it's like a lake.
Is that a Luapere? Luapere dormant volcano, like?
Yeah. It's just like diamond.
Yeah, okay.
And inside is like a lake.
But it's not a Punawai necessarily, or do you call it that?
No, you will call it Rano.
Rano.
Rano is like a little crater where water accumulates.
Okay. I was thinking Ki'owai for that one. Yeah, interesting. What else was? What else can we talk about from
Well,
that?
I introduced a lot of ideas beforehand, before thinking out like how am I gonna like.
You said like that one part where it said like when the storm comes.
Yeah, so Rapa Nui don't get mountains.
Yeah.
So the island doesn't generate its own clouds. We rely on storms that come.
To get the fresh
To
water.
get the fresh water.
And then maybe Punawai for fresh
And,
water.
yeah.
So you get
But
Punawai and
even then, like the water, you know, the water that's in the aina is still from the rain, you know.
Okay.
So like that rain is
Okay.
what is filling up the aquifers.
Interesting. Okay.
And when it rains a lot,
Kahe.
the one little stream flows.
Only one.
Only one. Yeah.
Okay. Forgot what I was gonna ask on that one. Oh, I thought you said like in a few days. What are you trying to say? You're saying like when the rain comes.
During the days that it rains a lot, I was trying to say.
Oh, okay. I think you said something.
Ina maula.
Ina maula, but you can't say na and maula like that.
Oh, inala.
Yeah, inala. You can say inala ua nui.
Inala
Or-
ua nui.
Yes. Or you can do
okay.
ikawa ua nui.
Ikawa ua nui.
Like when.
Yeah.
At the
okay.
time when you get a lot of rain. During the rainy time. Ikawa ua nui. So that's one thing.
Gotcha.
That's
okay.
one I couldn't remember.
So na and mau don't really go together.
Yeah. You can
'Cause
say
na
inala,
is-
then
na-
it's already plural.
Na is already plural.
Yeah,
Got it.
ikala, one day, inala, days.
Gotcha.
Ikeia maula, then you get mau.
Okay.
Because na
is the plural.
is ke.
Yeah.
But when you do keia, you can't do keia na. You have to go keia maula, days, these days. Or ikekahi mau. Oh, where's another one? Ikela maula, in those days. Ikela maula.
Would neia be? No, it's not the
Neia.
plural of keia, is it?
No, it's kind of like a variation, I would say.
Okay.
Keia, neia. Yeah,
I just saw it somewhere and
yeah.
just thought of ask.
Variation, I think.
Gotcha.
That's good though. I mean, I think for the most part you can understand quite a bit. You might have trouble expressing some things, but
yeah.
I think it's
They think, bro.
you probably think it's worse than it is, to be honest.
Huh?
I think you think it's worse than it is. I think it's the fact that you can understand what I'm saying
Yeah.
is a good
What's
sign.
it called?
And I can understand for the most part. It's just in your
I'm missing the vocabulary.
Yeah.
You know, I'm missing the vocabulary because I feel like the structure is there. Like I can put the sentences together. You know,
just vocabulary.
it's just the vocabulary. You know, like I can say, you know,
Takes time.
the rain is raining, right? But
I think for me too, I'm thinking of Rapa Nui and your language, so that's patterning a lot of what you're saying. Like you're basing
Yeah.
off a lot of it. So when you say
All of it.
when you say Punawai, I'm like, because you said I said kukuru I kapa apuni. It's like to build a wall around, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's more. He's thinking like those wells where you put a bucket down and you pull it out.
that's it.
Okay. And in my mind, I was like, I know several references where I can think they use luawai for a well. The Bible for sure uses that. But if it is a natural spring, then it is a punawai. It's just I got thrown off because of that. So I'm yeah.
Got it.
That's on my end of
No,
trying
but
to understand.
yeah.
They're
Well,
just a
so
different.
that we make it clear, in Rapa Nui, punawai is, you know, is those
Spring.
ancient wells that were made by the tupuna, where they're holes. Make a hole right here, and then
build wall.
build a wall all the way down to, you know, to the bottom of your home, just like the ones, you know, with the bucket down and that kind of stuff.
What a stone.
But you would
help
recognize, you would recognize where to make it because, you know, there's abundance of water right there, or because the water kind of ponds there or something like that, you know.
Wow. Pehea oi I ho'omakai e a'o I kōrero Hawaii.
Ua ho'omakau I ke a'o ana I ka olelo Hawaii me Duolingo. Duolingo. Mamua, Duolingo.
Kia ka makaiki I whakarua.
I wakalua. Hai. Maka wā COVID,
Koa COVID.
A ole hana hana nei a. Ua ho'omakau e a'o I ka e a'o ana e a'o I ka olelo Hawaii. A laila ua ike au I kou Instagram. Me kou Instagram au I ike ai I nā mau I nā mea
I nā orero, nā hu orero.
I nā mea maloko o ke internet, ha?
Ho'olohe o I nā kupuna.
Ai
o Hawaii.
Ai, ho'olohe nui au I ke la mau pehea olelo ai. Ho'opa'a olelo.
Apana ho'olohe is one.
Apana ho'olohe, ai. Nā mea o Clinton Kanahele, o Larry Kimura, ai.
Ua kakao oi? Ale kakao, helu.
Ale, helu mea iki wale no. Ua helu au, ua helu iki au I canoe pepa.
A ka canoe ka mana ho'olohe.
Ho'olohe, ai. Ka mea nui ho'olohe.
Kumana o a apono oi nā hu orero he nui. A apo oi.
Akahi. Olelo au me kou hoa. Me kou hoa. Olelo ia I ka olelo Hawaii. Olelo au ia ma loko I ke lepona. Huika ua olelo, huika ua olelo. Ele mai o I kou hale. Olelo ka ua, la. So, ai, mea nui ho'olohe he olelo.
Ho'omau o I kia o I orero. Ho'omau, keep going.
Ai,
ho'omau.
ai, mamake au olelo, he olelo ai a. Make olelo Rapa Nui, riva.
Meikai.
Good. Aka. Hiki au olelo maikai. Mamake au olelo maikai I ka olelo. Hiki? Okay. Ai.
Well, I think mamake o wala au me ka makaukau. I want to speak professionally. Olelo me ka makaukau.
Wala ba mamake au mamake au a'o maikai I ka olelo.
Ho'oikeika. Mamake o ho'oikeika. I ka wala au. I want to improve.
To strengthen, ne?
Yeah. I want to improve.
Mamake au ho'oikeika I kou wala au.
Yeah.
Ana.
Hiki.
Hey.
Meikai. Lava paha ki. Lava no paha.
Te reo Hawaii au happy nei, hei haumaru, au happy nei te reo kōrua. Maururo te mata itai mai, maururo te hakaronga mai I te mātou wānanga. He otia. Aroha.
tamamai te raa e a ere ana ua te ara moai pui pui a te toke rau e ngaro a mai te mana te mano te henua e tamamai te raa e a ere ana ua te ara moai pui pui a te toke rau e ngaro a mai te mana te mano te henua e ahiri he turu he oho kakaweke momahi a mai tōna i te kakaweke momahi a mai tōna maramarama e ahiri he turu he oho e kakaweke momahi a mai tōna i te kakaweke momahi a mai tōna maramarama e kaweke pehe te ngao te moi ana tarai e kaweke pehe te ngao te moi ana tarai e te umanga ka tani mai te toki mo tarai i te āringa ora o te tupuna te mua ka ohoi e te umanga ka tani mai te toki mo tarai i te āringa ora o te tupuna te mua ka ohoi te mua ka ohoi